The pain you feel in the middle of a struggle is not a sign that you are finished. It is an invitation to turn that very struggle into strength. Think back to some of the hardest seasons of your life. Maybe it was a business that didn't work out, a relationship that ended, or an opportunity that slipped through your fingers. In the moment, it hurt. It felt unfair, maybe even unbearable. Yet when you look back now, you realize that you didn't just survive. You learned. You carried lessons forward. You built resilience. You discovered a grit inside you that you might never have known existed. That's what struggles do. They take the pieces of who we are and sharpen them into tools we'll need for the next chapter. It's easy to admire success when we see it from the outside, but behind every great achievement lies a history of battles fought in silence. The athlete who wins the championship carries years of defeats in their story. The entrepreneur who builds an empire carries scars from failures that nearly ended their dream. The person who stands strong today is often the same person who once thought they couldn't make it through. Struggle doesn't just test you, it builds you. It doesn't just break you down, it creates the foundation for something greater to be built. We can't control everything life throws our way, but we can control how we respond. When struggle comes, we can see it as a dead end, or we can choose to see it as a doorway. We can let it crush us, or we can let it strengthen us. Pain has a way of opening our eyes to possibilities we would have never considered, of redirecting us toward paths we might never have walked, of building character that comfort never could. And here is what's truly remarkable. The very struggle you are facing today may be the reason you inspire someone else tomorrow. Your strength will not just be for you. It will become hope for others. Your ability to rise after being knocked down will show someone else that they can rise too. Struggle transforms not just your life, but the lives of everyone who witnesses your journey. The struggles you face are not here to destroy you. They are here to build you into the person capable of carrying the life you are destined for. When life hurts the most, it's natural to want to shut down, to retreat, to ask why this is happening. But what I've learned is that when pain collides with purpose, everything changes. The moment you discover you're a why, the hurt no longer feels like the end of your story. It becomes part of the reason you keep moving forward. Purpose gives meaning to pain, and with meaning, even the heaviest burdens can be carried with strength. Think about the people who continue to push through unthinkable challenges. It isn't because they don't feel pain, it's because they've anchored themselves to something greater than the pain. Parents who sacrifice for their children endure sleepless nights, long days, and endless worry, yet they keep going because their why is clear. Leaders who face criticism, setbacks, and obstacles continue to rise because they believe in the mission they're serving. Athletes who train beyond exhaustion keep showing up because they are chasing a vision that burns brighter than the discomfort. Purpose transforms pain into fuel. When you hurt, instead of asking, why me? Start asking, what for? What is this pain preparing me for? What is it shaping in me? What doors will it open that I cannot see right now? Sometimes the hardest seasons are not punishments, they are preparation. The pain may feel personal, but it is rarely wasted. It can lead you to discover strength, compassion, and courage that were always inside you, waiting to be awakened. Purpose also brings healing. When you realize that your pain can inspire, guide, or strengthen someone else, the hurt begins to feel less like a weight and more like a gift. The lessons you learn in struggle often become the wisdom that helps someone else survive theirs. Your scars may very well be the reason someone else finds the courage to keep fighting. That's the power of living with purpose. It turns even the deepest wounds into something that can light the way for others. The truth is, life will never be free from pain. But life with purpose makes the pain worth it. When you understand the reason you're here, when you connect to a mission greater than yourself, the hurt no longer breaks you. It builds you. It drives you. It becomes the evidence of your resilience and the reminder of why you can't quit. So when it hurts, do not lose hope. Do not let the pain convince you that the story is over. Instead, let it point you back to your purpose. Because when you have a purpose, even the deepest pain can be transformed into the very power that carries you forward. When it hurts, find your why and let it lead you. Endurance is one of the greatest qualities you can ever develop, because life does not reward those who quit at the first sign of pain. It rewards those who choose to keep moving forward, even when every part of them wants to stop. Endurance isn't glamorous. It's not celebrated in the moment. it doesn't always look strong. Sometimes it looks like simply putting one foot in front of the other when everything inside you is screaming to give up. But it is in those moments, the quiet choices to endure, that true character is built. Just look at Rikana. Think about anyone you admire who has achieved something extraordinary. They didn't get there because the road was smooth. They got there because when it was difficult, when it was dark, when the obstacles piled up, they chose to stay the course. They chose to endure. Success is rarely about talent alone, or luck, or timing. It is about the ability to remain steady when the storm refuses to pass. That is what separates the ones who rise from the ones who fall away. Endurance builds strength that cannot be faked. It sharpens your discipline. It molds your character. It transforms you into someone who can handle pressure, setbacks, and uncertainty with grace. And here is the truth. Every time you endure, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you thought. Every time you refuse to give up, you remind yourself that pain is temporary, but resilience is permanent. The more you endure, the more unshakable you become. Life will test you. It will bring challenges that make you question everything. And in those moments, quitting will always feel like the easier choice. But what you may not realize is that endurance is not just about pushing through. It's about who you become in the process. You become the person who can't be easily broken. You become the person who learns that storms are temporary, but strength built in the storm lasts forever. Endurance teaches you patience. It teaches you humility. It teaches you that greatness is not measured by how quickly you arrive, but by how much you are willing to overcome to get there. There will be moments when you're tired, when you feel unseen, when it seems like no progress is being made. And it's in those moments that endurance whispers, keep going. This is not the end. Your story is still being written. When you endure, you don't just survive the pain. You rise through it. You transform setbacks into stepping stones and hardships into the very foundation of your strength. That is why endurance is the key to building unshakable character, and why those who endure are the ones who ultimately win. The ones who endure are the ones who rise.